our primary target market, which is alcoholics. If I can make this work. There we go. Okay, so Cheers is a very, very simple solution to a very tremendous problem. I cannot get free beer at a bar worth the life of me. I even know some bartenders and bar managers, and they won't give me a free beer. And this is not where it's supposed to go.
That was the wrong button.
That was because of the beer.
Yeah. Maybe. I have no idea what you...
Do you want me to drive?
No. Okay.
Success.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what that is about. Okay, so pretty much the idea is Cheers. I can't get a free beer. Y'all can't get a box, right? On top of that, bars have a hard time getting people in to drink beer that you pay for. And it's not because you don't mind paying for beer. It's because there's so many options. So what's the way that beer bars can differentiate? They bounce back and forth between the same thing over and over again.
Use the scroll mouse. Use the scroll.
I like this. That's the scroll.
No, don't use the scroll.
Maybe if
You want a keyboard?
That's what I'm thinking.
I have a keyboard right here.
Maybe if you had a hangover, this would work out.
Maybe. Oh, there we go. I have the magic. Does that work as well? So pretty much, we wanted to get free beer. And the way we're going to incentivize bars to give us free beer is by telling the bars we will come to the bar more often if you give me and my friends free beer every now and then. Right? Y'all would do that?
Sure.
Okay. And so we decided to turn that into an application called Cheers. The best social application in the universe. The idea is pretty simple. You get two phones that have the application on it. You can toast your friend with a phone, and then you get points towards a free beer, which is awesome.
Using NFC, right?
What?
NFC?
No, because iPhone doesn't support it, and most Android devices don't. We use Bump, actually. And so the dream that we have is that we'll have this sexy-er looking view where it'll tell you which bar you're at, how many points you have how many points you need until you get a free beer, badges, awards, and the ability to toast your awesome friends. On top of that, whenever you decide that you want to go out and grab a drink, you can pull up your phone, look for a special, look 60 points on get an extra 60 points if you come in on Tuesdays at Taproot. Okay, that's a pretty good deal. Now, on top of that, you get to see where your friends are at if you have them added as a friend, a clunkmate, as we call them. So, as you can see here, I see my friend Will is over in downtown drinking, and I can go over there and get some points. And on top of that, it's awesome. I get to drink with my friend. You have a friends list. We're actually using Facebook as the backend to manage all of this stuff. We're not too worried about that. Though we are using a non-Facebook friend system right now. Right here, we're wanting to do a Facebook check-in whenever you clunk in at a place. That way the bars get some free SEO, and wherever you actually redeem a drink, it posts on Facebook for both Cheers and the bar. So you get like double advertisements. And so on top of all that, you can have rankings, awards, gamify it. So the Jägermeister would be like, I don't know, if you get like 50 points in one night. Or if you if it's your first clunk, then you get the Virgin Award because you just lost it. Then there are badges you can earn, like Bender, Entourage Player, I guess that would be it, as if you clunked like 5 people of the opposite sex in the same night. What? Or the same. You could swing that way. Yes. Because this is just up here because Startup Weekend required that we do market research on every. This is for the consumer side of things. Pretty much everyone that drinks said yes. Yes, they like free beer. But what about bars? This is the biggest question. Well, you can do patron advertising. I'm thinking push notifications about specials that are going on. Or maybe even do some geofencing tricks where if I walk into a competing bar, I get a push notification saying, hey, come over across the street within an hour and you'll get a free drink. All right. Or maybe you'll get an extra 50 points. Customizable analytics. How long have these people been in my bar? How often do these people go out to drink? And there's some pretty cool technology stacks that we're wanting to use to actually accomplish all of this. The guy, Duran with Choku Charlie's, loves this idea. You're not going to get free beer with Choku Charlie's, but you might get free cover or something like that, or a free concert ticket. And Gaslight, the place, right?
Free horse ride or bull ride?
Yeah, maybe. That would be great. And so they're pretty much just saying that we're awesome and they love our idea.
No,
As far as we know.
subbing in.
Marketing strategy, we're not really here to talk about the business side of everything, but we're selling this as a subscription-based service to businesses. So maybe they would pay what?
Because the analytics.
Analytics, and also because we're like bringing people to the bar. So if you have 100,000 users in a major city, then you could pretty reliably say that we can bring in 5,000 unique visits in a month, and that's worth well over $500 to a business. A business would pay $500 for that. Or maybe start off small with a $50 plan and have different tiers. Bars would help us market. We're doing it a la Facebook, where you focus on a specific geographic area, you saturate the market, pretty much you build up inventory, and then you move on to the next city. Competition. I think y'all can all think of some guys that do something similar to this, but nothing quite. And does anyone have any questions about what this app is before I move to the more technical overview? Anyone?
What it is?
Yeah.
Can you turn off Facebook integration?
Yes. Every single woman we talk to is like, you have to be able to turn off Facebook.
And you were saying that there's an advertising opportunity, so like when you're in a bar, there would be a post automatic for the same reason.
Well, we're doing stealth modes, so we're using OpenID, so that way it just simplifies the whole logon, and it makes it more difficult to spoof, because otherwise we'd have to get your phone number so that we can text you, and that's just a pain in the butt. I'm sure you'd like that even less. So you get to turn off sharing features, like you can go into stealth mode, no one would see you on the map, and then you get to choose who you want to see you when you go out drinking and who you don't want to see you.
So is the bar or the bars still get the benefit from your presence and analytics associated with your presence there? Or is it
Well,
just
it'd be
public view?
anonymized. I mean, the bars aren't going to be like, oh,
No, I
Suzanne's
understand
an
that part.
alcoholic.
No, right, I understand that part, but it seems like there's a benefit to a bar knowing that here. Does the stealth mode preclude them from
Well,
benefiting from that? Or is it just-
one thing I've thought about is giving bonus points if someone's less closed off with their data.
Yeah.
Because that's a value to a bar, maybe an extra point per clunk. And we're thinking 100 points gets you a free beer.
Gotcha.
And it wouldn't necessarily be a free beer, it would be a coupon that can be used towards wherever the bar wants you to. Okay, can you help me out with that? Okay, so I breezed through that. That's not at all the full presentation, but I think everyone here has a general idea.
Nice.
So,
Didn't you actually present to a VC too down in Silicon Valley?
oh yeah, he loved the idea. He wouldn't shut up about it.
He's from Anchorage originally. VC's from Anchorage.
Yeah, Joel, he said that we're investable, which is good. It's because this is actually a scalable idea, and that there's a lot of money. I think part of the reason why is how we're approaching monetization with subscriptions with bars. And so, yeah, it's kind of exciting.
I forgot to ask one. Android?
Of course.
All right.
To answer that,
That's from a local
okay.
here.
Oh,
So Vince actually wrote that software. He's from Anchorage.
So we are going about this in a very non-traditional path for making a phone application. Oh, to the left, you actually see the most recent screens from the application. So if y'all are ever curious, this is a posting on how many clunks you've had.
Real quick, are you on test flight? Do you take beta testers?
We don't have anything testable yet, but we are going to have a huge alpha testing party, and that will be awesome. And everyone here should stay in touch with me. And if you give me your email address, I'll make sure that you're invited.
We're all on the meetup, whatever.
Yep.
So you can.
Okay,
You have,
as an alpha tester, what's our incentive? Do we get 100,000 points right off the bat?
oh my god!
As an alpha tester, you're going to get free beer.
Great negotiator.
And it's not going to be the core app, so that means when you download the real app, you're going to get another free beer because, oh yeah, the first clunk at any location, you get something for free, period. End of discussion. So if it's my first time, so theoretically you could go to 5 bars and get 5 free drinks with a group of guys. But then afterwards you'd have to choose which bars you want to earn points at and work with those bars. In a bigger city, that would actually be pretty huge because you'll limit yourself to bars that you can get points at.
I mean, I can't actually.
Yeah, so, but
Yes, I'm a shut-in. I know this bar. It's all the way home.
But also that would encourage you to go to bars that you wouldn't normally go to.
Yeah.
And so be like, I haven't gotten my free beer at Bushwhackers. Let's go. Okay, so overview, the major technology things that we're doing right now. Oh, we're wrapping everything into PhoneGap. For those that don't know, is HTML little bottle that you throw into an iOS or Android or any other phone operating system app, and you actually get access to the native functions. You write JavaScript plugins, and so with that you can do a lot of really cool things. And a lot of phone developers hate PhoneGap for a lot of good reasons, but we're going to get to that. We're using Bump.
That's true. That's true.
As a surrogate to NFC, we're doing Bump. Yes, I think NFC would be the bomb, but it's not supported enough yet. So we're doing Bump. They're kind of good enough right now. Yeah.
That doesn't really clunk either.
You toast them, you bump them, so it's a
Is there a
clunk.
sound effect?
Oh.
That's on the to-do list.
Okay.
We're going MVC right now. Look at the screen. Oh, crap. What's going on? What'd you do?
I don't know. This happened earlier. This is why I didn't use the keyboard.
Okay. We're using Facebook for the login credentials and also the cool things in it. And we're doing a lot of GPS stuff.
So like can you have a personalized soundtrack will as you clunk more? Oh hey. Will the music get faster and have more as you go to the next one?
Yeah.
I like that health
It goes down.
I tried now.
Or it starts off with jazz music, and by the end of the night, it's like bebop. So, PhoneGap, our experience so far, PhoneGap's kind of wonky. It would have been a little easier just to get someone that was a solid iPhone developer and just let them go at it. But I wanted something cross-compatible, and PhoneGap developers they're easier to find because all you need is someone who is experienced in HTML technologies, that's not scared of Objective-C, and then they can pretty much make you anything that you want.
Are you playing with
What?
Mono?
Mono? I do not like .NET.
Okay.
So-
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So no.
I'm just saying, if you're looking for that kind of thing.
No.
Alright.
Well, also web developers are cheaper than .NET developers. Yeah. Front-end developers. Because it's just JavaScript, CSS, and HTML5. But the plugin creation, we actually had to make a Bump plugin. PhoneGap is an open source project on GitHub right now, if y'all are interested. It's the only one out there. It is not user-friendly, and it's for an outdated version of PhoneGap, but it is out there, and it has Cheer's name on it. So go check it out, and good luck getting it live. But really, if any of y'all want to contribute, it should be under Creative Commons, and I would love some help. We have a more updated version, but Ray hasn't promoted it yet to the giveaway pile yet. It's not as slow as people said it would be. Now, it might be because I've only tested on iPhone 4. I've been testing on iPhone 3, but no one uses iPhone 3, really. And Apple's going to stop supporting that soon enough. And 3G is, I'm pretty sure it'll be fast enough. People will be used to slow stuff. But so far, it's not that slow. It's not that bad. On top of that, we're using Cinch Touch 2, which is actually pretty awesome. It feels like a native app. And it doesn't look enough like a native app that it'll look weird on an Android device. And we're going to hire a designer to give us a sexy look and feel anyway. Unless someone here is a designer, they would like to help out. Yeah. Bump is actually really awesome. It's like magical string passing. So you can take any two devices that the Bump API, if y'all know that, they have an API that you can freely use right now. They're probably hoping that someone's going to come out with some awesome thing. We're going to make a lot of money, and then Bump's going to be like, we're going to start charging for this now. But right now, they have no monetization strategy, so it's free. We can pass any string, so we're just passing a unique identifier to the server, and then the server's going to crunch the numbers and tell you how many points you got or what happened. We have had some bump detection issues, so I've had to bump multiple times to get a proper rating. I don't know if that's because of how we did the wrapper or not. It shouldn't be, but it's enough that it's been agitating me. And so that's something that we're working on right now. Another thing, it's actually kind of funny. If you pull up the app and you just shake it, Bump doesn't know when to stop listening. So it's like an endless vibration. And that is something that we had been trying to figure out how to stop. You can't make Bump time out or anything like that. Oh, I just made it vibrate. But anyway, so right now the way we're solving that is we're getting rid of the Bump try again message. And we're doing a little notification to let you know whether or not you had a successful clunk. And if you too many unsuccessful clunks, it's going to give some lewd message about playing with your phone too much.
And weren't using native.
What? No, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we have this problem doing native Objective-C. It might be because we're wrapping in PhoneGap, but probably not, because whenever you wrap something in PhoneGap, it's touching the iOS directly. Other than that, Bump's been pretty good for now. We haven't had too many complaints with it. Might have to do some hacking around to make it work properly for when you're in a bar scene with a bunch of drunk people that are impatient. But that's why all of y'all are going to sign up for the alpha test, right?
We got like a 10x multiplier for every pump, right? I'm still working that angle for you.
And badges. Lots of badges.
Yes. Facebook, the integration is awesome. It's taking away all the pain that comes with user authentication and all that stuff. You can post to walls, which is a lot of value to both cheers and the businesses. And actually, if you don't mind people knowing that you're going out to drink, it benefits you as well as the drinker. Facebook check-in, that's on our to-do list. I had to comment that one out. And we already talked about OpenID. And then the GPS stuff, it's kind of there. Right now we're kludging it with a 30-meter radius. So, and we're using this cool little query where you do a bunch of sines and cosines, and as a result you can figure out if you're within 30 meters of a location. That's listed. That's not going to work in a production environment where you're going to have bars side by side. But for now, it's good enough.
We're on top of each other.
What?
We're on top of each other.
Well, then they're just screwed. But we are planning on using Alohar. It's an SDK. I've been talking with their CEO, who's he's funded by Joel. And Alohar is pretty cool. It does 24/7 GPS monitoring on your device. And so it'll let you know. I could set it up so that it would let me know whether or not you're driving, whether you're walking. And that's how we would do geofencing things. So if you're like walking down Bourbon Street and you walk by a bar, that bar will detect that you're walking by. And then you'll get a push notification saying, hey, come in. We have specials. It's awesome. Yeah. And I think that's actually the core thing. All these screenshots are of the actual application. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have. So, technical questions on how we're doing things. I was kind of scattered.
Well, actually not a question so much of an assertion. I think it's awesome that you guys are tackling something that a lot of people are afraid to tackle, which is geographically aware advertisement. I'm really interested to see how it all works out. I really hope that it does work out because as annoying as that might make, well, as annoying as it feels, it's not actually that annoying to get a good deal. So,
especially this use case has a lot of appeal.
And you can give away other free things. The one thing that I've had a bunch of people push on me that I'm not hedging on is I want whatever you get is to be something free that is actually fun. So I don't want like a free Zen pedicure. I want like a free beer or a free roller coaster ride. Or if I'm going down the Las Vegas Strip, I want like a free buffet or even free poker chips.
You might change it right now. I want that kind of career somewhere.
Maybe, but it has to be universally appealing to everyone in an area. Because one problem with a bunch of services like Groupon is that it's oversaturated with really crappy deals, frankly.
So maybe since it is geofence aware, the concept that maybe you have a profile where you put in preferred, you can set a profile of the things that you're interested in, because I could give a crap about some things that we want to buy. Like you were saying, I really want to see that.
We could do that.
Not interested. It's not useful to me.
I was
want
thinking-
something that's useful to me.
I was thinking about using, what is it? There's this machine learning tool, and pretty much you can dump a bunch of database data into it, and it'll use a bunch of algorithms that I'm too dumb to understand, and tell you what an optimal choice is. So, and it'll get the data based off of where you've clunked at and when. So maybe.
So that feels automatically also.
So if it is my optimal drinking time, then it might be a good idea to send me a message, hey, you should go drinking. Okay.
there's a lot of open solutions out there.
The one I'm thinking about is open
Strategico
source.
is one of them that does long-term.
What's it called?
Strategico. And it does long-term predictions, and it's something you can download and use.
I'm thinking about Matador, I think.
Long-term prediction's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So people who like beer and beverages probably like to buy them in bulk too. So it seems like there's a brown jug as well.
I have a question about buying beer in bulk, specifically when it's accidental. Is your app going to work in Mexico, specifically around Cabo at all? Because when they say 3x3, they actually mean we're bringing you a pitcher and then another pitcher. And I want all of those pitchers to count. You know, is that something that you're prepared to deal with?
Yeah.
What do you mean count?
Like count. I want like a I did this batch at least.
Well, I haven't found a satisfactory solution on how to clunk with a location, because one possible solution for locations that are too close is that you are actually clunking at the bar. And the best thing, the most appealing solution I found is that there's an iPhone behind the bar and you go up and you clunk with the bartender. Now, I would rather it be something else, because then they have to have an iPhone and then you're distracting the bartender. But that's the best one I have. So that would be an instance, because the app, instead of having a separate app like Groupon where you have like a merchant app, I just want to have a super user account and it'll give you different views. And so if you're a super user for that bar. And then as a bartender, I can choose, I want to gift someone 100 points, or I want to give them this particular string for this reward campaign that I custom crafted with these Cheers guys that I paid way too much money for. And we're okay with that because it's just a SQL query, right? And the bars are happy with that because they have their own little custom spin on the Cheers world. And so that would be one way that you could get your 3 for 3 in Mexico.
How about what about the concept maybe an auto clunk after a duration of time? Like you're at an establishment. This obviously has the issue with bars that are above each other. How to deal with that? But let's assume that doesn't exist for this example.
Yeah.
And if you're at a place for a duration of time, then you're automatically clumped, as you say.
I've been
You're
absolutely
not
right.
Bartender involved, which is good.
It's an automatic check-in.
Yeah.
and that's something that I'm really liking. It also that would give the benefit for solo people that don't like to socialize too much. They would eventually get something for free too, because if you're at a location for an hour, you deserve 4 points.
Plus, you're likely to have purchased something that's good.
Yeah, and you'd have to be there. You'd have to, if you're a solo drinker. Yeah, you'd have to go like 25 times or 20. It's all going to come down to numbers and metrics on the optimal gaming numbers to encourage people to use this app. You have to keep it fun, but you can't reward them too quickly. So that's something where, I don't know, like a Mopord guy would actually be really helpful.
So your super users, is it all web-based?
Super user?
The super user for the bar who deals with all the management?
Oh, it would have to be this, because if they're going to bump, they're going to need the bump API on the device. It's just going to be a different view that's hidden. And, like, of course, it would be keyed specifically to that user. There would be some little switch on only we could handle.
Okay, as a golden ticket.
Yeah, pretty much. It would be the golden ticket modifier. I wish I thought of putting up a screen of the database ERD. It's actually pretty straightforward. You have to have businesses, you have to have patrons, and you have to have business patrons because you have an individual account with each bar. And all the magic is on the business patron, or BP, as I like to call it in my database, because typing out business patron was way too much work. But two BPs can clunk together. You can have point modifiers on a BP. That's like if you redeem something or if you clunk with a golden ticket guy. Or you can have clunks, and clunks have point modifiers attached directly to them. I was wanting to have a smart algorithm in the database where pretty much there would be this awesome query. It would look at a rule, it would pull it up, and then I realized I'm not paying for Oracle. I can't do this stuff without killing myself. Doing what? I'm using MySQL because the ERD tool they had is really easy. I want to guess though because you can do sexy stuff with Postgres. I like Postgres. But yeah, I need my triggers to do this right. And all points are determined by a query. Everything's based off of queries and views. Whoever wants to programmatically generate a query, I will return and say you better have a really good reason, because in most cases you don't need a query. You don't need to programmatically generate a query. It should be a view that is optimized and fast. But I've had to deal with Oracle. It might not work that way in Postgres world. So, yeah, that is the technical overview.
I can't wait to use it.
Same here, and also it's a much cooler idea than what I read from the notes. Anchorage startup.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I'm looking for pretty much one thing right now in regards to this project. I am the only technical guy, and I am horribly underqualified for this. If y'all know anyone that has free time, if only to just drink beer and talk about this project specifically, I would love to buy y'all a beer, because I would like to be able to bounce ideas off of someone other than my hired programmer, who he's great, but he's a hired programmer, so he's taking things from a different perspective, though he's been doing a really good job. And yeah.
Schedule. What do you like? What's your timeline? Are you thinking of how?
There should be an alpha test going on in January.
Test party.
And that'll be on the Apple Store itself. We're going to have a dummy app, and we're going to get it passed onto the Apple Store.
So geographically isolated to, say, Anchorage as the alpha, or
Yeah.
because there's integration with business owners?
Yeah, we just want to do a proof of concept to see if we could. Ross wants to attract some investors. I just want to hash out the issues that are going to come up, like, oh, the bump feature sucks. Like, that's what we need to know.
So why go ahead and put it on the App Store as opposed to going to something like TestFlight?
Because it would make everything a whole lot easier, and it might actually go a little viral. And why not? I mean,
You're saying beta, but really you mean it's not.
It's the fake release. It's not the one all of our marketing efforts into.
Oh, so you're right in the market. What you're saying.
What's
You're going right to the market with it?
Yeah.
Well, we're probably going to throw everything away and rebuild it after we
Okay.
do the alpha. Or if we don't throw everything away,
Check it out, but
we're going to do a complete rebuild.
Yeah, but how can we build up our stats as alpha users?
if it's
If it's going to be, come on, now we're
no,
innovating.
if he's in,
I wanna
if
be
he's
somebody.
in the app store,
I own the
he's not gonna
database.
Yeah, I want like a
He's
paper
not gonna
certificate.
Yeah.
Well, all the alpha. Okay, how about this? All the alpha testers will get a forever badge. I have not been able to convince Ross of giving y'all like an infinite point modifier because he says that is giving away someone else's goods.
I think it's like this little.
I think it would be awesome though to do a Kickstarter. If you donate like $10,000, then you get like a forevermore like a 0.5 point modifier.
Well, yeah, I think there's like a wheel or a random wheel where it's like 0.51, 2x, 3, and then you're the only ones who can have that every time you go into a bar. It's you're like, you're bumping
I like that.
everybody.
Yeah. Randomly awesome.
Randomly awesome. And
Yeah.
always upside.
Well, if y'all can convince Ross to bend on that, I think it's an awesome idea because then we could just kickstart this thing because everyone's going to want like a times 2 point modifier. I know all of my extended family is a bunch of alcoholics with money, so they would do it in a heartbeat.
And that'd be a limited number of those, right? Yeah, Kickstarter, you always have like a first 200 or something get this thing.
I think this is a kickstartable idea as well, just because it's unique. But yeah, again, like for all of you developers here in this room, I would really love to be able to sit down with y'all and talk about this more, because I don't trust myself to be the only person actively thinking on this other than Ray. Like I said, Ray's an awesome guy, but he's a hired hand. So
I do think your inappropriate free gifts are pretty unfounded, considering your target everything, target bars and target people. I don't think like rum runners or Chillicothe Trailways is going to be like, oh, we got all these free pedicures, we got to get rid of them.
I guess we could just have a little thing in the agreement being like, there is less than 100 or less than 1,000 users that have permanent point modifiers because they were early adopters or early investors, or something like that. And other than that, there is one other thing I would like to talk about. Sue and I are doing this thing called AK Startup, AK-Startup. It's a meetup group, and we met earlier. I see a lot of faces that were there. It's more startup oriented. It's not really directed solely towards techies. I'm trying to recreate the environment that I experienced that was so wonderful down in Boulder, Colorado, where a bunch of nerds would get together, they would throw around ideas, and then they would turn around and they would make something, and then they would try and get customers to actually like use their product. Then they might try and get investors, or they would try and bootstrap it the rest of the way. I think Alaska's a great place to do this, mostly because we're kind of independent folk, and we're like, screw it, I'll do it myself. And because of the unique environment and that we are so isolated, I think I've noticed a lot of unique ideas and approaches on how things are done. Not to mention the crazy mix of high quality and low quality with local products, but it's I think this is a place where Alaska could start developing IT products, or developing software products and exporting it to the lower forks, such as Cheers or something like that. And just go on, it's meetup.com/AK-startup. It's easy to remember. I think Shane will be nice and do a little snippet, but that's my little post thing.
I will skip.
Thank you for snippeting me.
Maybe you said it. How often are you meeting on that?
Right now, we're planning on meeting once a month. I am wanting to do like a morning coffee thing because mornings are actually easier for me. I do have permission of doing third Thursdays though, of taking over third Thursdays. So we're probably going to take over third Thursdays. My point exactly. A bunch of, pretty much it was a bunch of people that were entrepreneurial that would meet on Thursday and drink beer together.
It's part of the last innovation.
Uh-huh.
The guy who was actually started as Joe Morrison, and he's the guy. The reason he got a job working for the uni on this organized safe fund is because he started the third Thursdays. And he was kind of getting involved, trying to get people together.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a
So,
good
yeah.
crowd right there, right? I have to guess.
Yeah.
Take us
Yeah.
together to drink beer.
Oh, there is a questionnaire whenever you sign up for the meetup group. The last question is, do you like free beer? That is a plug-in for Cheers. But also, every single time that we meet at Sue's business, which is where it looks like everyone gets free beer. Seriously. Sue works over at AMET, Alaska Manufacturing.
Alaska Manufacturing Extension Services.
Yeah. And so,
And she works for a division of AMET that focuses on getting manufacturing processes working well in Alaska. If I said that right at all.
yeah.
And that's how it's kind of explained to me. And, I think it's great that she's opened her office up to a lot of these meetings too.
Yeah, and she'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if she start helping out with this too. But they're pretty much AK Startup sponsors right now. And it's less organized than this is, but yeah, y'all should check it out.